You may need a car, but you don't need a Tesla. Girl, you know you don't need a Tesla, even though you want one, and it's cool, it's cool, it's cute. All of these things, technically, are luxury services, and coaching is no different. Really excited to do this topic because this is something that I have heard since I began coaching. It's actually something that I used to feel really bad about and wanted to overcome, and then I just realized that it was ridiculous. And that topic is this notion that only business coaches make money in the coaching arena. I actually have a new client that I onboarded not too long ago. She is a life coach. And you guys, she is killing it. She's made close to 20K in, I wanna say, less than 6 weeks. I think she's been with me for a little over a month. And she's just been murdering the game. And I wanted to hop on here and do this because she is a life coach. And so many of you maybe have had this false belief. I know so many others have this false belief that if you're not teaching on business or you're not teaching on money, then it's impossible to make money, which is so far from the truth. As I said before, a lot of people think that the issue is that they are a life coach, but that is not the case. The issue, are you ready for this? The reason why you're not making money, lie coaching. Lie coaching, Courtney, what are you talking about? I don't lie to my clients. You don't lie to your clients intentionally, but you might be lying to your clients unintentionally, and they're picking it up. A lot of life coaches build themselves as someone who can help a potential client reach their highest potential, right? However, when you say, I can help you reach your highest potential, that their potential is up here and you can help them reach it, but your pricing is down here, what does that say? It says, I believe that I can help you reach your highest potential, but I'm not even reaching my highest financial potential. The incongruency, right? There's a disconnect. People don't believe that you can help them reach their highest potential if you yourself are willing to accept low pay. Physician, heal thyself, right? If you can help me reach my highest potential, why aren't you reaching your highest financial potential? Why are you willing to accept low pay? Well, I'm gonna tell you why many coaches, but many non-business coaches in particular, so life coaches, health coaches, mindset coaches, whatever, are willing to accept low pay. And that is because all of us at some point in time have been programmed to be under earners. An under earner is anyone who is earning less than their potential. And I say that we've been programmed to be under earners because our society is set up to groom us to believe lies like people can't afford it, it's wrong to want a lot of money, or people who have money are jerks, they're obnoxious, evil. You know, you want to earn a lot of money, but part of you feels guilty. Let's just say that there's an incentive by the powers that be to keep all of us selling our time for low pay, right? Because it creates profits for other people and other entities, but not necessarily for ourselves. That's what I'm so big on entrepreneurship. I'm like, I'm not gonna sell my time to a company or a corporation for peanuts. I'm gonna sell my time to the marketplace for the maximum amount of money. But particularly why this is a problem in coaching and why this is a problem for life coaches get into coaching because ultimately they want to help people. If you have these beliefs that people can't afford it, you know, you charge low because you think, oh, I'm helping people by not charging a lot. I think it's more righteous, you know, to not charge as much. But here's the problem when it comes to coaching. Your best customers are people who can't afford it and people who have money. Yes, you cannot receive what you resist. So if you resist those type of clients, you won't receive them as well. But here's another thing most of us don't realize when we get into the coaching industry, and that is this. Coaching is a luxury service. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Coaching is a luxury service. What? Really? Courtney, are you sure? I'm sure, and I'm gonna tell you why. A luxury literally means anything in excess of what is necessary. Luxury, I think, comes from like the Latin word luxor or something, which has its roots in excess, right? So it's anything above and beyond what's necessary. You may need a car, but you don't need a Tesla. Girl, you know you don't need a Tesla, even though you want one, and it's cool, it's cute. You might need food, but you don't need filet mignon, right? You might need childcare, but you don't need a nanny. You might need a clean house, but you don't need a housekeeper. All of these things technically are luxury services, and coaching is no different. You've probably heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So if you're not familiar, since I got my handy dandy notebook, I feel like Blue's Clues. Shout out to all my moms entertaining toddlers, watching Blue's Clues 30 times a day, right? The top here is self-actualization. What is that? What is self-actualization? That is you desiring to achieve your highest potential. Does that sound familiar? Yes, that is the mission statement of most life coaches. People pay for coaching because they're what? They're trying to self-actualize. But self-actualization, by definition, is what? Above and beyond those necessities, right? So we have our physical needs down here, food, shelter, and all that. As a coach, you are helping people do something that is in excess of the necessities, that is in excess of the bare bones. So by definition, coaching technically is a luxury service, which means technically you are a luxury service provider. Who are the type of people in general who look for luxuries, who looks for things in excess of what is necessary? Overachievers, right? Overachievers are your best customers. And this is what I had to help my life coaching client really understand in order for her to have her multi-5-figure month, essentially, is I helped her tweak and work on her messaging. Her niche needed to be tweaked a little bit, but her pricing needed to be adjusted as well. Why? Because she had to adjust all those things in order to attract those best customers who tend to be overachievers, because overachievers are the ones that are in the market for coaching. I think we miss this because as coaches, we're extremely passionate about coaching. We know what's possible with coaching. And in our minds, we literally tell ourselves, everybody needs coaching. Everybody should have a coach, which is true, right? And it might be, yeah, everybody should have a coach, but that doesn't mean everybody needs it. Everybody needs food. Everybody needs water. Everybody needs shelter over their heads, but not everybody is at the place, not everybody is at the level where they want to self-actualize. If your best customers are overachievers, overachievers don't want to be coached by under-earners. I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. Overachievers don't want to be coached by under-earners because they don't believe that you can help them reach their highest potential, which is what the whole point of coaching is and what these people are looking for, if you yourself are not reaching your highest financial potential. You're revealing your programming when your prices aren't in line with the service and the value that you offer and the customers that you're ultimately looking to reach. But also, this is why I always say that there's no such thing as a good coach who is bad at sales. Why? Because coaching is sales and sales is coaching. What is sales? All sales is pre-coaching. Sales is essentially coaching your prospect to become a client. It's important that you master that process, because if you can't coach your prospect to become a client, you're gonna have difficulty coaching your client to ultimately become whatever it is that they hired you to help them become. And so you really wanna focus on your marketing and your sales, because you are selling the value of what you have to offer. But once that person becomes a client, as a coach, the sales don't stop. You still have to continue to sell them on why they need to take this action that you want them to take, right? Why they need to adopt your mindset. This is a big one. If you're a coach, you are helping people get out of their comfort zone. But guess what? Human nature doesn't want to get out of their comfort zone. So you better be good at sales, because even after that person has paid you, you're still going to have to sell to them why they need to take an action that's going to be uncomfortable for them to take, an action that might, separate them from their family and their friends. What will people think of me? Well, what happens if I become successful? That's a real thing too in the coaching industry, fear of success. So if you can't help your clients navigate all of that, you're going to have problems. I remember when I was getting ready to quit my job, right? So in preparation for that, I knew that I needed an attorney because I wanted to make sure that my business structure was in place, since this was now going to truly be my full-time job. So I was interviewing different attorneys. And so I remember the first attorney that I spoke with, one, she took my call for free, which was a red flag in and of itself. And she was just like, so eager for the sale and so just wanting to work with me that she herself was like, oh, okay, well, I normally charge $150 an hour, but if that's going to be a problem for you, then we could do, $80 an hour. It made me start to feel uncomfortable because I'm like, look, I need an attorney that's not going to make any mistakes and who's not going to have any problems, right? I'm not looking to save money on an attorney. Like, a few things you don't save money on. You don't save money on an attorney. You don't save money on your accountant. Like, there's things like that. So by her saying, oh, I'm going to lower my prices for you, oh, I'm looking to save money, it was actually a turnoff. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll let you know. And so I continued to look for another attorney. And so the attorney that I ultimately ended up going with, it was funny because I reached out to her for a consultation and she was like, okay, great. Her systems were all together. She was like, all right, you click here, here's where you book. It costs, I forget how much it was, $250 or $350 just to book a consultation with her about my situation. And she was like, if we end up working together, then I'll apply whatever you paid for this consultation towards your legal services. But trust, I'm not going to get on the phone until you've paid me. And so I really respected that. And I was like, oh, okay, here's an attorney worth her salt, right? Like, she knows what she's doing. She understands the value of what it is that she's offering. And so that ultimately sold me. So I went with the more expensive attorney, again, because I wanted to make sure that my stuff was tight. And I wanted to make sure that my stuff wasn't going to leave me, in legal trouble later down the road, right? We're so focused on trying to help people, save money because we think that that's, the nicer thing to do. I'll just say this. If you truly cared about your clients, you would charge them enough to change. So I'll say that. If you truly cared about your clients, you would charge them enough to change, because people pay attention only to what they pay, right? So they have to pay attention. And the level that you require them to pay is the level of attention that they'll give to ultimately whatever it is that they're going for. A big issue that I see is a lot of coaches want to build for-profit businesses with nonprofit niches. And so what I mean by a nonprofit niche is they're literally going after people who cannot afford their services, right? A lot of life coaches, because their heart is so big, unwittingly get in what I call nonprofit niches, meaning they're deliberately going after people who by definition can't afford whatever it is that they're offering, right? So I see people who are like, oh, I want to coach underprivileged youth on how to do whatever. And it's like, well, do underprivileged youth have the money to be able to pay you for your coaching? Probably not. Again, you go after those overachievers. You go after the people who have the money and the people who can't afford it. And with your newfound abundance and your newfound profitability in your business, you can just then start to give stuff away to the people that can't afford it. That's the best thing, right? I know for me, I love teaching young girls entrepreneurship. I've spoken at so many different young girls empowerment events. I never go to those events and say, oh, here's my speaking fee, or here's how much it's gonna cost in order for you to coach with me. Never. I just do it for free because I enjoy doing it, but I also do it for free because I'm well compensated. I think a lot of our, again, programming that keeps us as under earners is because we believe that if we get paid a lot, that we are somehow taking a lot from people. Instead, we need to flip that to say, if I'm being paid a lot, it's because I'm giving a lot in return. That's what the word compensation means. It denotes balance, right? I am compensated for my time, for my work. The things that I do are able to provide great transformation. For me personally, as a business coach, I'm literally able to change people's lives because they're able to quit their jobs. They're able to coach their own clients, give their gift to the world. I say all that to say, how to not be a broke coach, and particularly how to not be a broke life coach, is to make sure that you are in integrity, right? Don't engage in lie coaching. Don't engage in coaching where you're telling people that you can help them reach their highest potential, but you're not taking seriously you reaching your own highest potential, specifically you reaching your own highest financial potential. And so this is why, again, every coach should have a coach. I have a coach. I've been coached since 2015. I have 2 coaches right now that I'm actively working with. And yes, I've paid these coaches buku bucks, right? But they're deserving of the massive compensation that I've paid them, because I'm learning things that then make me worthy of massive compensation as well, because then I am able to share this information with my clients and it trickles down and it changes the world. You're like, okay, Courtney, I want to be a good coach, which means I want to be good at sales. I share my entire organic sales process without Facebook ads at CourtneyLSanders.com/masterclass. And if you're already working with clients, you're making some money, but you're not making the money that you want to be making. You're not well compensated. Maybe you're compensated, but you're not well compensated. I do have a few spots left in my Revenue on Repeat program. And with that, I will see you all. Happy coaching. Bye.